establish facts that humans throughout the history had a chance to examine, had a chance to review, had a chance to introspect, had a chance to analyze, and thus excavate the wealth that is inherent therein. Every human community has the chance. But many communities of the human society fail to grasp this chance. And we wait to the end. We wait to the very end. And you will recall last week, I explained what happened to people who keep delaying, even with good intentions. Because good intentions don't make life. Good intentions have to be proven with appropriate actions. And the people will say, oh, ya laytani. Ya laytani, how I wish. Anytime you see humans are talking like that, generally it's people who have lost hope. And who said, I wish. Every day we are in charge of the opportunity to make our wishes count. But when we lead them to the very end, when we become weak, when we lose our ability to influence, when we lose the wealth, the health, the strength, the opportunities that were given us, we have no one else to find fault with but ourselves. So here's what the Qur'an is telling us, and an advice to people who are given divine guidance. It says, O Prophet, say to them, make it very clear to them, Ya Ahl al-Kitab, la taghlu fi dinikum ghayr al-haq. And this is the subject that we should pursue. Al-haq. It's the basic translation of al-haq is the reality, is the truth, is what is right, what is correct. It's all about rights. What we are entitled to. And in this we will find also what is known as responsibilities and duties. But that is something for students of the Qur'an to go into the Qur'an. Just don't take one verse, but start doing a research of compiling all the places and the context where these words are used in order to get the Qur'anic vision of it. But the Qur'an is telling the people before the Prophet, do one thing, among others, do not be extremists in your life and pin this to God. Do not be fanatics in life and attach this to the messenger of God. Because fanaticism and extremism is not something that you can synchronize with divine loftiness. No kind of extremism. Being extremely lazy, being extremely dotish and stupid, being extremely backward, being extremely retrogressive, being extremely ignorant, being extremely that your life, you are saying one thing but you don't see the progress. That's one form of extremism. While the other form of extremism, which we all know, is talking a lot of unestablished things about God and His Messenger and about the deen for which there is no evidence. Like the extremism that all Muslims are going to Jannah. All the people who are called Muslims in the world are going to Jannah. There is no support for this. There is no evidence for this. There is no evidence that the people who call themselves Muslims are really Muslims. That's the big problem. Because the average man or woman, girl or boy, graduate of a university, professional, doesn't know who is a Muslim. Their Muslim is a cultural identity, a traditional identity, a facial identity, an identity of dress and certain rituals and customs and ceremonies, which they will die generally but don't get let loose of. So to go and say that all the people who call themselves Muslims will go straight to paradise because they make up some story that the Prophet, when he was born, he was found in a form of prostration, and his whole life he was prostrating for his followers, and when he's dead they found him in prostration. None of this, all of this is senseless. But you go and ask the people over the world. I used to hear this as a little boy. And I didn't come from those developed societies that many of you came from. I came from a society that Muslims were far detached from their motherland. But it never made sense to me, but I was in no position to question the senselessness of my community then. I'm in a position to do it now. And that's why I challenge it. Not because I disrespect anybody, or I'm better than anybody. I challenge it because the Qur'an wants me to grow, to evolve, and to shed all of these unbecoming extremism in life. So the Qur'an told the people who got revelation, don't say about Allah matters that are extreme, that are fanatical. Don't talk about Allah like this. What you should talk about Allah? Things for which you have evidence in His books of guidance. When you want to say Allah says something, look at the book. I can understand you may still have the book and still don't understand what the book is saying. Because don't forget that ignorance had gripped the Muslims of the world for almost 13 centuries. So the perception they have is not a perception that is consistent with the text. It's a perception handed down to them more than anything else based on what is popular. Based on what is popular. Based on what tradition has enshrined. And then the verse continues, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا أَهْوَاءَ قَوْمٍ. And do not follow the ahwa. Ahwa is the plural of hawa. And hawa comes from the verb hawa. And hawa means to wish, means to desire, means to also exist in the airy atmosphere. So hawa bil hamza, the end, hawa, it means desire, it means wishes, it means whims, it means that which somebody fancies, it means air, it means wind, it means the atmosphere, it means foundationless, groundless, baseless. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا الْهَوَاءِ. It doesn't mean don't follow the air and don't follow the wind. It means don't follow your baseless, foundationless desires and fancies. Because you and I have not been asked to follow that. You and I have been asked that when we follow something, we must be convinced it is in word and in spirit from divine guidance. Two concepts I expressed to you. Word and spirit. How do you know the word? If this was revealed in Arabic as it is, then you must go to the Arabic sources and see what this word really means. Then you must study it in context. In the context of what it is said. Ask any student who studied literature. There is always, you cannot excuse yourself from finding out what's the meaning of this word. What's the usage? And what's the context in which it is part of the text. Because this will help us to understand.